Here are the results of my hard seltzer taste test. Hi there, it's Jeff, and this is Plain English lesson number 475, which means JR has uploaded all the content for this lesson to plainenglish.com/475. Coming up today, I tasted 5 hard alcoholic seltzers in a blind taste test, carefully administered by JR. I won't spoil the surprise, but let's just say it wasn't my finest hour. You'll see what I mean in a few minutes. The expression we'll review today is take the plunge, and JR has a song of the week. You learned on Monday that hard seltzers are a new category of alcoholic drink that's taking the beverage industry by storm. They're light, low in calories, and they come in a variety of fruit flavors. Just 5 years ago, they were a niche product at best. Today, they're a major category in alcoholic beverages. Overall, I'm a punctual person, but I'm a little late to this party. You see, until just a few weeks ago, I had never had a hard seltzer, not even a sip. When I want an alcoholic beverage, I reach for a beer about 3/4 of the time, maybe more. I'll often have wine with a meal, and only occasionally will I have a cocktail. I've seen a lot of ads for hard seltzers on television and online, but mostly I've seen people in my social circle drink them. People drink them at parties, at bars, in the parks, and on the beaches. White Claw is the most popular brand. JR discovered White Claw about a year ago, and it quickly became his favorite summertime drink. Still, I had never tried one, and there was never a time when I decided I wanted an alcoholic seltzer instead of a beer. But then I invited people over to my house, and many of them shunned the beer I already had in my fridge, and they brought their own seltzer. And when the party was over, I had a few leftover seltzers in my fridge, so I decided to take the plunge. I booked a celebrity guest bartender for the occasion. His name is JR. I had 3 brands and 5 flavors. I went into my office while JR poured a sample of each into 5 clear juice glasses. He told me there were 3 brands: White Claw, Vizzy, and Truly. And there were 5 flavors. They were passion fruit, pineapple mango, watermelon, citrus, and berry punch. Of the 5 samples, 2 were as clear as plain sparkling water. 1 was just ever so slightly hazy, and 2 had distinct colors. One was a cloudy pink, and the other was a cloudy gold color like ginger ale. I don't know why, but I immediately assumed that the clearest ones were White Claw. Other than the pinkish one, the colors didn't reveal anything about the flavors. And the pinkish one could have been watermelon, berry punch, or passion fruit. Well, now I couldn't delay any longer. It was time to take the first sip. JR arranged the samples on a cutting board. The glasses were numbered 1 through 5. I started with number 1. As if tasting a fine wine, I wanted to first experience the aroma. Seltzer number 1 had a sweet smell, but I couldn't peg it. I took the first sip. It was not too bubbly and had a hint of generic fruit flavor. Just seconds after the sip, I found it left a chemical finish like conventional diet soda does. I guessed passion fruit, but I didn't know. This was one of the clear ones, so I thought it was a White Claw. Next was seltzer number 2. This was the slightly cloudy one, but it had a fruity flavor that I couldn't place. And then panic set in. I started to doubt my first choice. Now I thought this one was passion fruit. Number 3 didn't make things any clearer. It had a similar texture and mouthfeel as number 1, so I guessed this was also White Claw. At first, I said it was pineapple, but then I changed my mind and said it was citrus. Numbers 4 and 5 were the cloudy ones. The first was the golden color. I thought it smelled like lime popsicle, but it gave hints of cough syrup on my tongue. I guessed berry punch. I took a sip of water to cleanse my palate before tasting the final pinkish seltzer. That one tasted like bubble gum flavored medicine. Not like cough syrup, but like liquid antibiotics or something. It's not a flavor I want to taste ever again. After tasting all of the samples, I knew I was doomed. None of the seltzers tasted clearly like any of the flavors. If one smells like lime popsicle but tastes like cough syrup, is that berry or citrus? I thought hard about when I was a kid and liked flavored candy. What was the difference between watermelon and berry punch? I started to doubt myself. I changed my choices. JR looked on in disbelief. He didn't reveal any of the answers. The only thing his face revealed was that he was clearly watching a train wreck. I didn't get a single flavor right. The first was passion fruit. I said it was pineapple mango. And these, by the way, are not even similar flavors. How could I have gotten it so wrong? The second was pineapple mango. That's the one I said was passion fruit. The third was watermelon. I said citrus. Again, not even close. The fourth was citrus. I said berry punch. And then the fifth one, the pink one. That was berry punch, but I said watermelon. I was clueless about the taste. That much is clear. But did I like them? And the answer is not really. Out of the 3 brands I tried, I would say White Claw is acceptable. If I were at a pool party or the beach, or if I just wanted something light to drink, a White Claw would fit the bill. Well, JR then asked if I were stranded on a desert island and the only option were to drink Truly, would I do it? I said no. Stranded on a desert island with nothing else to drink, I don't think I would even open the Truly seltzer. JR agreed. I truly hate Truly, he informed me. In my defense, none of these tasted like the actual fruit. They tasted like fruit candy. Now, a watermelon candy doesn't taste like watermelon. It has its own taste. But now I'm starting to doubt myself. If JR blindfolded me and served me a cube of real pineapple and a cube of real watermelon, would I be able to tell the difference? Before, I thought yes. Now, I'm not so sure. Today, I'm going to show you how to use the English expression take the plunge. To take the plunge is to do something after a period of hesitation or uncertainty. Here's the image I want you to have in your mind. Imagine you're about to go swimming in a cold swimming pool. There are 2 ways to approach it. You can dip your toe in the shallow end, then put your full foot in, then go up to your knees, your waist, and then fully get in the water. Is that you? Or do you take the other approach? Do you just jump into the deep end? Jumping into the deep end is taking the plunge. You commit yourself to something. And once you jump, once you push off the edge of the pool with your back foot, there's no going back. You're going to get into that cold water. So we use take the plunge when you're hesitant to do something. Maybe you're a little worried about it. You've delayed it. But now you've committed to doing it. That was like me with hard seltzers. I've seen ads for hard seltzers for years. I've seen people drinking White Claw for a few years too. Now I'm in my comfort zone drinking beer, so I've never wanted to try hard seltzer. And sure, I was curious about it, but then I had people over to my house and they left a few hard seltzers in my fridge. And over the next few days, I kept eyeing them in there, wondering what to do about it. But then I decided to take the plunge and try all 5 of those seltzers. 3 brands, 5 flavors. There's no going back. A few weeks ago, we talked about the quest to find meaning at work. And a lot of people during the pandemic were stuck at jobs that they didn't like and didn't value. And a lot of them decided to quit their jobs and do something that has more meaning to them, whether it's working in a smaller business, starting their own business, or volunteering for a while. It's not easy to quit a job, so a lot of people probably felt some hesitation. But then many of them took the plunge. They left their jobs to do something more meaningful to them. Well, my phone is almost 4 years old, an eternity. The screen is fine, but let's just say it's not performing at its peak. I hesitate to get one of the new iPhones because I hate the notch. The notch is the design feature at the top that covers the camera. Now, the screen otherwise covers the entire front section of the phone, except for this oddly shaped notch at the top. I hate it. I don't want to look at it every day. This is irrational. I'm sure that after just a few days, I would get used to it, and after a few weeks, I wouldn't even notice it anymore. So should I take the plunge? I don't know. I'm holding out hope that they'll release a version this year without the notch. But if all the phones they release this year have the notch, then I guess I'll have to take the plunge. I'll have to commit to getting one of these phones after a long, and I mean long, period of hesitation. Here's a question. Would you go on a cruise today? The cruise industry, more than any other, was hammered by the pandemic. Early in the COVID-19 pandemic, you might remember, there was a cruise ship stuck off the coast of Japan, and 700 people were infected with COVID-19. Now, a cruise ship is a terrible place to be during an outbreak of disease. Everyone is in confined spaces. There's limited medical equipment on board, and obviously no hospital. The ships are often far from major cities where medical care can be delivered. Still, many people are ready to take the plunge and get back on a cruise ship. Bookings are strong ahead of the peak summer season, and prices to the Caribbean and Europe are 5 to 10% higher than they were even before the pandemic. So after years of hesitation, many vacationers want to cruise, and they're ready to take the plunge. JR, in addition to producing the lessons, in addition to serving as the celebrity guest bartender for my taste test, JR also chooses one song of the week for every Thursday lesson, an English song at that. And this week he has selected As It Was by Harry Styles. As It Was is a high-energy, upbeat song. The lyrics are about embracing change. He said he was inspired by the pause he took during the pandemic to think about what kind of music he truly wanted to make in the future. And As It Was by Harry Styles is about that personal reflection. And that brings us to the end of today's Plain English, wrapping up another successful week. Remember that this was lesson number 475, so you can find the full lesson resources at plainenglish.com/475. In today's video lesson, I'm going to show you how you can express that something is 100% certain by giving a specific example. It's not easy to describe in the audio, which is why I made it a video lesson today. So you can see that at plainenglish.com/475. And if you're not yet a member of Plain English Plus, you can join and access our full library of step-by-step video lessons by visiting plainenglish.com/plus+.